Mr. Asad Shuman. Your Excellency, you have the floor.
President, members of the court, the Palestinian people have an inalienable right to self-determination and complete independence, which has always been systematically denied to them. The League of Nations mandate territories had a right to independence, which was realized for all of them except for Palestine. The UN Charter enshrined the right to self-determination for the protection of all peoples, except in practice for the Palestinians, more than half of whom were massacred or driven off their land in the 1948 Nakba. Their land was partitioned, and half of it allocated to a new state that promptly extended it to 78% by brute force. In 1967, just 7 years after Resolution 1514, Israel commenced its still continuing occupation of the entirety of the remaining Palestinian territory. Since then, Israel has, through systematic manipulation of negotiations to undermine the presumed objectives, ensured that the Palestinian people are prevented from ever exercising that right. Israel cannot be permitted to continue flouting one of the most fundamental principles of international law with impunity. Impunity breeds inhumanity. The right of the Palestinian people to self-determination is violated in many ways. I will focus on 3. First, the exclusion of Palestinians from any part of the Palestinian territory denies their right to territorial integrity, which is an essential part of the right to self-determination. The Palestinian people have a right to self-determination within the entirety of their territory. Yet Israel has systematically removed and excluded Palestinians from parts of the territory. It has separated Gaza from the West Bank and prevented the free movement of Palestinians within the Palestinian territory. It has prohibited the return of Palestinians to their homes and property and established exclusionary illegal settlements in the West Bank, including East Jerusalem. This is especially egregious because many of these almost 700,000 state-supported settlers are continuously terrorizing and forcibly displacing Palestinians from even more of their territory and engaging in pogroms against them. Second, Israel denies the existence of Palestinians as a people. The Israeli Minister of Finance, himself an illegal settler, has stated that there is no such thing as a Palestinian people. Senior Israeli leaders routinely deny that the Palestinian people have a right to self-determination. Moreover, the case brought by South Africa, which Belize fully supports, lays bare the fact that Israel's genocidal campaign in Gaza also denies the right of Palestinians to exist at all. One key tactic in this regard is Israel's deliberate use of starvation to destroy the civilian population of Gaza. Gaza's entire population of more than 2 million people is in crisis, facing the worst levels of acute food insecurity. By December 2023, the famine threshold had already been exceeded, and the situation was deteriorating rapidly. This famine is not an accident. Indeed, senior Israeli officials have already clearly stated their intent to deprive civilians in Gaza of food and water. In its planned erasure of the Palestinian people, Israel is also destroying Palestinian cultural, educational, and historical institutions in Gaza. almost 400 schools, and every single university have been partially or fully destroyed, including one which was used as a base and an interrogation center by Israeli forces for months before they pillaged it and then detonated it. The intention is to erase all trace of Palestinian life and culture, to destroy the very essence of what makes the Palestinian a people. The message is clear. The total culture of Palestine must be destroyed, and they must have no future in Gaza. Third, Israel is using forcible action to deprive the Palestinian people of their right to self-determination, freedom, and complete independence. This includes the right of the Palestinian people freely to determine, without external interference, their political status and to pursue their economic, social, and cultural development. Israel's forcible action that denies the right to self-determination consists of institutional, coercive policies and practices that exert authority over and oppress the Palestinian people. These include the complete control exercised over Palestinian natural and economic resources, the institutionalized and racist apartheid, and the systematic and excessive use of force, arbitrary killing, and mass incarceration of Palestinians, including children. It also includes action taken by Israel to deny Palestinian political participation by criminalizing political speech and membership of or connection with Palestinian political parties. As the UN rightly says, by depriving Palestinians of their fundamental rights, Israel has taken away their agency and ability to unite, self-govern, and develop as a polity. The consequence of this breach is that Israel must immediately, unconditionally, and totally withdraw from all of the Palestinian territory. Israel is determined to ensure that the Palestinian people do not now and do not ever exercise their right to self-determination. Israel considers itself an exception. No state reserves to itself the right to systematically violate the rights of a people to self-determination, except Israel. No state seeks to justify the indefinite occupation of another's territory, except Israel. No state commits annexation and apartheid with impunity, except, it seems, Israel. But Israel must not be allowed such blatant impunity. It must not be allowed to continue to inflict scars for generations to come on those that survive this Holocaust. Israel must be made to behave like all civilized nations. Stop violating international law and UN resolutions. Respect the right of the Palestinian people to self-determination. Palestine must be free.